Hi and welcome to this video about a weight loss plan that really works. And if you're like me, you've probably tried most weight loss plans. You probably found that at best most of them are built on foundations of they might work for a while, but your stomach rumbles too often, or the food just doesn't taste nice, or whatever other excuse. And let's face it, if diets worked and we actually lost weight, the booksellers and the food manufacturers would go out of business. So you need to quit buying every new diet that the Daily Mail or whatever else you read tells you is the greatest thing since sliced bread, especially since there's conflicting advice in any paper or anywhere else from day to day, or even in the same issue on a different page. And despite what the NHS and the government advise, we're not used to eating lots of fruit and veg. Our genes have adapted over tens or even hundreds of thousands of years, but we've only had agriculture for a really short time, way too short for us to actually adapt to it. Historically, we'd have had access to fruit and veg in season. If you're not sure what in season is, you're too young. But basically, it's when it's actually on the tree or coming up out of the ground or whatever. And then we'd only have had access if the birds or other creatures hadn't beaten us to it. The rest of the year, most fruit and veg simply wouldn't have been available. Simple as that. No freezers, no supermarket supply chains, no air miles. Crops like wheat wouldn't have been grown when we were basically nomadic, because you actually need to be in the same place or whatever. And anyway, evolution means the seeds are designed to go in one end and out the other, so that the wheat or whatever else survives and flourishes because it's been given a new place to grow. So the weight loss plan that really works is to eat what we're genetically intended to eat. This is the really ultra one. You probably won't do it, but bear with me. So the weight loss plan is basically any meat, any fish, eggs. So if you're vegetarian, okay, we won't go there. And whatever else we can scavenge, and that doesn't mean packets of crisps and sweets and chocolate bars and cakes and all sorts of other things. It means what you could have scavenged. Nuts and berries maybe, but again only in season. And yeah, that's ultra restrictive, although it works a treat. And if you're not sure about it, read up on the Scandinavian diet. It's what they're doing. They're ignoring their doctors, and their doctors are tearing their hair out because it's working. But there is another way. It's a bit of a compromise, but it works well enough to allow you to eat reasonably normally. And the compromise is this. It's those meat and fish and eggs again. It's cream and cheese, good fats, and that actually means things like lard, and good oils, things like basically pressed oils, not the cheap vegetable oil that can be used as diesel fuel. And then limited amounts of most other things, providing the ingredients list isn't longer than your arm and you recognise and can pronounce all the stuff on it. Well, that's it in a nutshell. So that would include the occasional piece of fruit, typically green leafy vegetables because that grows above ground, so you'd have had a lot easier to have access to it rather than planting it now and coming back in 3 or 4 months' time when the potato crop's grown. So it involves a bit of thought, but not much. And you can cope, and it's actually quite fun. It's way higher in fat than conventional diet that's been preached for the last 30 plus years, and look at your waistline to tell how well that's worked. It's a lot less carbs, maybe up to 60 grams of carbs a day. There's no calorie counting, that's good. In fact, there's no real anything counting. You just look at it and yeah, it's about right on carbs once you get used to it. And your food tastes nice again, and it's good for you. Your doctor will freak out at what you're eating because they've been trained by the NHS to say 5 portions of fruit and veg a day and don't eat very much fat and all that kind of stuff. But then they'll measure you. They'll measure your weight and your waistline and your blood pressure, and they'll freak at that stage as well because they'll try and work out how they're going to explain why what you're doing is actually working favourably. So if you'd like a longer chat about this weight loss plan that really works, click the link below or call me if you're in the UK on 07967 478 272, or again click the link below, there's a Skype option. We can have a chat, brief one, no obligation. After that, see where it leads. Look forward to you being a lot healthier and enjoying your food and actually losing weight. Enjoy.